Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Clash Detection with ConVoid. We are very happy that so many of you signed up for the webinar. Something administrative right at the beginning. There is a Q&A section here in the Teams event, so if you have questions, please write them in the Q&A section, and we will get to the questions at the end. For a quick introduction, my name is Benjamin. I'm the Customer Success Content Lead here at ConClass, and next to me is sitting Pelle. Pelle is, of course, the CEO and founder of ConClass. For today's webinar, I will begin with giving you a quick overview over the clash detection functions of ConVoid, and afterwards Pelle will jump into an actual project. So, as you know, ConVoid is a go-to solution for the creation, the updating, the tracking, and coordination of openings. What you might not know is that ConVoid also has an advanced clash detection feature. So what kind of clashes are covered by ConVoid? First of all, clashes between MEP elements such as ducts and pipes, clashes between MEP elements and architectural or structural elements. This functionality gives you an overview of the question, were all openings created? Does every MEP element have its opening? After you've created the openings, this is, of course, important to know. And there is the functionality of checking whether the clearance is still there. So can all the openings be sealed properly according to clearance requirements? This, of course, is important to ensure fire safety. All of this is presented in a familiar user interface that you know from the creation of openings. All you have to do in this interface, if you want to make use of ConVoid's clash detection feature, is you switch to the clash detection mode here, and then you get all the functionality in terms of color filters or also the comment function here, which you already know from the creation of openings. Clash markers, lastly, are portrayed or displayed in 2D and also 3D. I'm pretty sure everybody's very eager to jump into the actual project with Pelle. So let's just go ahead and do that.
Perfect, thank you, Benjamin. And hello also from my side. Happy to have you here. So let's switch to my screen. There we go. I hope everyone sees my screen with the sample Revit project. And you might already have seen the sample project of ConClass. So basically, where I'm working now is the HVAC model. So I have the HVAC model opened, I have the architecture model linked, and the electrical model. So first of all, I want to coordinate my MEP systems by running a quick clash detection to ensure there's no intersections between pipes and ducts, for example, or between the cable trays and the HVAC system. So that's my first way to go, because each change in elevation of a pipe or a duct might also have a change in the openings. So to start, I click Convert Void. You probably know the ConClass ribbon tab here and the Convert Void feature. So basically, it's the same UI, but now I have one slight different compared to the opening creation. We have the clash detection mode. So you can switch between clash detection mode and opening mode. Clash detection mode is quite different algorithm in the backend, but otherwise the overview, and the settings are almost similar to the openings. So instead of selecting host elements and reference elements, I define two clash groups, selection A and selection B. I have now selected my current project, which is the HVAC and plumbing model. And I want to run a clash detection between ducts, also including the duct fabrication, against the pipe fittings and pipes. So that's my first go-to clash detection. And I will keep everything as it is. And I will hit OK. And here we go. What did ConVoid have? He placed me 3 clash markers. So basically, ConVoid detected 3 clashes. And I already can see them here from my view. These pipes are intersecting the ducts, as you probably can see here. So there are basically 3D clash markers visible or placed in your project. They have similar parameters like the openings, but here I can see, okay, that's the ventilation plumbing clash. And furthermore, I have these clashes also visible in my 2D view with a different symbol. So that's the 2D marker of the clashes. I will just highlight them a little bit better by adding a color filter. So here we have also listed the clash markers. So that's a clash. That's a clash. And this is a clash. So that's basically the clash detection everybody knows. It's already a little bit more advanced than the Revit internal one, of course. But let's do some quick modifications or changes. So let me change the elevation of the pipe a little bit to, let's say 3000. I'm going to switch to the 3D view. Good. And now I just changed the elevation of the pipes. What I want to do now is to double check if the clashes are solved. Yes, 3 were solved, 2 were created. So I created 2 new ones. So of course I should have checked it better, but as you can see, this one was just created. So of course I need to find the best placement or location for the pipe. The older ones, which are now resolved, are marked as deleted. So basically this clash is resolved and I can delete it using the ConVoid manager here. So I'm just deleting all my resolved clashes. And I will just keep these clashes now for demonstration. Of course, you can extend your clash detection with more filters. So it doesn't have to be ventilation versus plumbing. So you can be creative. Let's do electrical versus HVAC. Okay. So I just duplicated the filter, but instead of my current project, I want to select my electrical model. I want to select cable trays and fittings, and I will add some more categories here. So basically now, ConVoid should check the elements in the HVAC plumbing model against the elements in the cable electrical model. Here are some more settings you can look at. For example, you can group clashes if the distance is less than, in that case, it's 200 millimeters. So it will create one clash marker based on many clashes in a tolerance zone of 20 or 200 millimeters. That's easier for coordination. And that's a thing you can change. Also, you can, of course, exclude some elements using a reference view, but that's probably known by the creation of openings. So let's run the clash detection again. Here we also have 3 near clashes. I couldn't see them directly now, but let's have a look. All right, here it is. A clash between the cable tray and the pipes, and of course, this can be resolved again by changing the location of the pipes. So what is quite useful working with ConVoid? You can define where you want to run the clash detection. So instead of running an entire project, you can just crop your 3D section view, and based on the visible elements in your current view, you can run the clash detection. So for quick checks, change your 3D section box to analyze or detect clashes in a specific area. That's one advantage. Next step. As you already know, ConVoid creates openings. So basically, I also have to double check if all openings has been created. So if I switch to my 2D plan, you probably already see the placed openings here. Also here in 3D. And I want to check if I really considered everything during my opening creation. So of course I could have missed something due to settings or due to a missing category or something like that. On top of that, you have to know that the architecture model, which is linked, does not contain openings at all. There are no cutouts or nothing. Yeah? That's also the thing you have to know, because now I'm running the clash detection for, let's say, the architectural and the MEP elements. To do so, let's start with the clean new filter part versus MEP. That's a quite broad clash detection, but yeah, let's say we will use the electrical model. Oh wait, no, I just created openings for HVAC and plumbing, so I will keep it as it is. No wait, I will add that. Okay, let's add cable trays, duct accessories, duct fittings maybe, and mechanical equipments, pipe insulation. Yeah, it's also okay. And I want to clash it against, I could clash it against doors, floors, roofs, not rooms, stairs, structural columns, structural framing, and also windows. So that's basically quite a full clash detection. Let's run it. See what's happening. Perfect. And as you can see, here is a new clash marker, also right next to me here, but there was no clash marker because there's already an opening. So ConVoid already considered the ConVoid placed openings ConVoid sees there is a pipe penetrating wall, but since there is an opening placed in this location, ConVoid sees this clash as resolved or not existence. Compared to here, we have a clash detection with the beam. Same applies to here. So there must be a reason why ConVoid marked these clashes, and that's what I'm going to double check in my opening creation filter. Let's have a look. Openings, HVAC, and plumbing, and we have ducts and a prefabrication ductwork. That's good. Okay, we did not included the structural framing, so no openings were created in the structural framing. That's a good thing to add. Yeah, let's just create some openings for the structural framing. Perfect. So 19 new openings were created. I can already see the opening was placed here. So my next step is again, okay, let's rerun the clash detection and see if there are any changes. Okay, 16 deleted clashes or resolved clashes. That's a good sign. So this one is probably marked as deleted. Great. This one is also marked as deleted. Let's have a filter. I'm just going to delete these clashes. Great. I still have clashes for the electrical systems since I did not create openings yet for the electrical system. But I will keep them active right now, so I'm not going to create openings for my cable trays right now. Instead, I want to double check if the HVAC openings have enough clearance. So let's have a closer look to one specific area. Let's take this one. So of course, every clash detection will now say this is not a clash since a duct is going through an opening. Everything is clash free, let's say. But on the construction side, it is also important to be able to seal the opening. And even if there's no real clash, the construction site needs to seal all the openings which are required for fire safety. And they need specific spaces or clearance to fill this opening. And in case there's not enough spacing, the sealing mass will not fully cover the entire opening. This is a weakness spot regarding fire safety. So it also has to be ensured that this clearance is considered. And my recommendation is always to say 50 millimeters. That's enough clearance to ensure you can seal the entire opening, and all the sealing mass will seal the opening. So to do so, I will rerun the clash detection, but this time I will give a clearance. Let's say I will allow a clearance of 40 millimeters. So if there's a clearance below 40 millimeters, ConVoid will give me a clash. So let's do it for this specific area. And yeah, this opening is fine as it looks like that. since we have a clearance of 15 millimeters on all sides. But this one was marked as clash. As you see, in the first view, everything looks good, but the clearance between wall edge and MEP duct is, what is it? 20 millimeters. So it's not enough clearance to seal the opening properly. So what I have to do is basically to increase the clearance, and then I can basically rerun the clash detection. And now he will probably say, okay, this one is resolved, one deleted, and that's it. And it's also working in case opening or a duct is not completely in an opening. Yeah. So this is also a notification where you detect clashes, or this specific case. Yeah. They might have enough clearance on the right side, but not enough clearance on the left side. So all these clearance zone will be considered. And that's one advantage using ConVoid. We do not just give you the clashes, which were obvious detected. No, we also give you the possibility to check the clearance of the openings to ensure you provide the best results for construction sites, to allow people not to have too much rework on the construction site. And yes, that's basically the working one with the clashes. On top of that, you're also able to coordinate these clashes. Let's say if you want to report your clashes, you can simply use the BCF export or Excel export, which you already know. So let's assume I want to get some approvals of clashes, or want to make some comments regarding clashes. Let's do so. I'm just going to find clash again. Okay, here's a good clash. The pipe duct intersection. I will simply reject that. Tell, please change elevation of pipe to resolve clash with duct. So, and I also add a 3D screenshot, snapshot. And now I'm able also to communicate these clashes via BCF export, Excel export, and so on. So you can request changes, or give tasks to the project team using the ConVoid manager. And of course, it's also able to export everything to the ConVoid manager standalone. So as you can see, it's an integrated extension of ConVoid. Since we are already doing the clash detection for the openings, we also thought it's helpful to provide a solution for the clash detection. Good. I think that's basically it. One other note, I'm using the ConVoid version 1.7.04. So we did some slightly improvements and some minor updates regarding the clearance. So if someone is trying to reproduce what I'm doing right now, so check our download page. We didn't notify the update yet, but it's online since we are waiting for the next major release. But in case someone will test the clearance and the clash detection, as I showed you today. Ensure you download and install the version 1.7.04. Good. Let's switch to the question and answer Q&A chat. Let's see, are there questions? Yes. Okay, let's okay. First question. It appears that Clash interface shares similar filtering controls as the void creation, whereby a user could filter a specific attribute with the model, system name, user parent to effectively create a more refined clash detection rule. Is this correct? Yes. So basically you have the capabilities of everything which the opening feature also provides. Yeah? So you can do a quite specific clash detection based on a group of openings. Yeah. Next question about the architect versus MEP and MEP in your example. Are the openings in the MEP model or are they in the architecture model? In that case, the openings were in the MEP model. So that's the difference. So you do not have to have the openings in the architecture model to ensure to run the clash detection. Before you hand over the openings to the architecture model, then you could easily check if you created all the openings and resolve already the clashes, which could be resolved with the openings. They were considered for the clash detection and did not generate a clash, even though not cutting. Yeah. You would like to know how it works? Well, let's say magic. No, I mean, what we know the size of the opening. We know the geometry of the entire situation, so we can check everything in the background. So of course, ConVoid will detect a clash at the beginning, but then we double check, is there an opening in this location? Is it the right dimension and so on? So, and if everything fits, there's no clash. But as said, the clearance, if this is not fulfilled, ConVoid will mark it as a clash. So that's basically how it works. Another question, one more question about MEP versus architectural structural. Can we add a ConVoid parameter to elements such as beams that are no-go zones so that ConVoid consider them as a clash, does not generate an opening? Or how do you recommend to deal with no-go areas? The no-go areas, I would recommend to use the exclude from ConVoid parameter. So maybe most of you already know that each opening or each reference or host elements will receive exclude from ConVoid parameter, and you can do it. Can also exclude beams or columns as no-go zones based on this parameter. So if you enable this parameter, ConVoid will not create any openings in beams or columns. Can we perform a test run with the linked model? Yes, you can run all your clash detections just based on linked models. So there's no need to have an active model. So if you are a BIM manager which just want to check the clashes between the disciplines and you do not want to access their files, you can create a project or new Revit model and link everything in this Revit model and then run the clash detection. Another question. In the ConVoid manager, list view will clash markers and openings be shown all in the same list? Do we use the fields or something similar to split between both? Yes, you use the fields to filter for clashes or openings. So yeah, right now it's a mix of all openings and clashes. That's true. That's maybe an improvement we can do. But you have the possibility to filter between them. Regarding the BCF, is there a way to have viewpoints, not only pictures inside the created issue in BCF? Yes, that's always part of the ConVoid BCF. So you do not just have the image, you always have a viewpoint. So that's the viewpoint is automatically calculated by ConVoid. So it is part of it. If yes, can they be created automatically? Yeah, that's that was my answer. Do I need to create them by hand? No. How is the experience with compatibility with BIM Collab Zoom, for example, or Zulibi? Do the viewpoints work? Yes, based on our experience with customers who are working with the openings on platforms like Solibri and BIM Collab Zoom. Yes, it works. So there's no different. Will the issue get the information of the clashing elements grid? Yes, it's also included. Let's have a closer look. Okay. Are you planning to build a separate interface for void management and clash management, or a way to filter them and do separate management tools? Yeah, good point. That's probably the point already another mentioned. We will make a note and we'll consider that for future improvements and developments. That's okay. I'm currently working on a project where we are using ConVoid to generate voids, about 7,500 across the whole site. It wouldn't be unfair to assume that there would be a fast number of clashes within the project too. So, yeah, that's it's a good point. We will, make a note about that. Question number 2. You mentioned if a void has been placed using ConVoid, the clash detection feature knows not to clash any MEP elements against structure. How does it know this? Do you have to put in a filter, or does it know all the elements created through ConVoid? Yes, your second guess is right. So since we know the ConVoid families, we know exactly how to work with them and how to analyze the behavior. Yeah. So you could see them as a real cut in a wall. That's how we calculate them on the back end. But my recommendation, just give it a try. Just run some checks, and you will see how it works. Another question: could there be any impact if we use different MEP families? Will the add-in ConVoid still work properly? Well, the only requirement is the ConVoid opening families, but of course you could use any kind of MEP model. It doesn't matter if it was created by Magicart or other tools. So there's no requirements regarding your model or architectural, structural MEP model. The only requirement is that if you want to run a clash detection to identify opening or missed openings, then you need the ConVoid openings. Some more questions. Is it possible that ConVoid removes the clash between the architecture and some elements if there is already an opening created with ConVoid? Yes, it does. So let's assume ConVoid detected a clash, was placed a clash marker. then one day later, an opening appeared at this location. If you rerun the clash detection, ConVoid will mark the clash as deleted or as resolved. Next question. As a BIM manager, checks or clash detection are usually done in a third-party software. Yes, indeed. Is there a plan to develop this further in the direction of Forma? Good question. Not yet. It was basically the feedback of a customer of us who said, why not doing a normal clash detection since we are already doing a clash detection with ConVoid? So it was like a first go to see if it's useful or necessary. And of course, if the feedback of our customers is going to that direction, that we should extend this feature to Forma, then maybe, yes. Could you in future create a way to name the voids as requested per project? For example, B101, blah, blah, blah. It has been requested in projects so far and it had to be done manually. Created to name the voids as requested per project. So, I mean, you can rename our ConVoid families. That's no problem at all. You could take our ConVoid family, create new types, rename the types. That's not a problem at all. So if you do not want to have B1, no, what is it? CC horizontal opening rectangular, you could also name it B1.01 opening. That's no problem at all. I hope that answers your questions. Yeah. All right, final question, which I see right now here. Is it possible to also check the spacing between surfaces in the separate openings? That's a 200 millimeter separation between boulders work opening. Yes, that's the thing which is already part of ConVoid and always have been part of ConVoid. Let me switch to our sample project. Let me find an area. Okay, let's take this one. So let's assume I want to ensure that the clearance between the openings are 200 millimeters. We have the clash zone. So if I set the clash zone to 200 millimeters, it will extend. And then I can double check it using that. And we also have the clash detection here, this one, which checks the clashes internally. So now it found 10 clashes. And yeah, that's basically. So yes, that's possible using the clash zone plus the clash detection here. You can identify the spacing between the openings.
There's one more question that snuck in the comments by Alex Acosta.
Okay.
He's asking, can we filter adding openings individually for fire-rated duct not combined?
Yeah. So fire-rated ducts. I mean, there's different ways on how to do that. First of all, you could create a separate filter only for the fire ducts, yeah? And in case you have a separate filter for fire ducts and for normal ducts, then ConVoid will not automatically join them into one opening. That's option one. Then, if you have access to the duct system, we have a parameter. I'm just gonna find the parameter. I'm just changing my. Just give me a second. just need to find the shared parameter of ConVoid. Okay, now perfect. Here we are. So we have a hidden parameter. I think it's here in our shared parameter file. You will find the parameter do not join opening, and you can add it as a project parameter, and I will add it to the generic model. The selected parameter also already has been added. That should be it. No, that was wrong. Of course, in ducks settings, ducks. Yeah, that's okay. And now I could simply tell. I'm just gonna hide. Going a 3D view. I'm gonna tell ConVoid, okay, do not join these openings, or in case these ducts shouldn't be used to join openings. And if I rerun ConVoid now, ConVoid shouldn't join them. There we go. Now I have separate openings. That's option 2. Okay. Is the release available now? Yes, if you go to our download page, it's available. We did some improvements the last weeks regarding the clearance. It's available, yes. Okay, one final questions I'm gonna answer. Okay, which I think that's it. Yeah.
So someone asking, how are openings between steelwork and architectural elements handled where steel running through a fire-rated partition requires fire stopping? Ian.
So the question, how are openings between steelwork and architectural handled where steel running through a fire-rated partition? I mean, this is similar to MEP opening. So instead of selecting the ducts, you are selecting the steel, and then ConVoid will create an opening. And of course, all the fire requirements from the wall can be transferred to the steel opening. But yeah, ConVoid can handle all kinds of openings. Doesn't matter what element is penetrating the wall or the host element. Good. I think that's it. If you have more questions, just reach out to our support. We are happy to answer them. Furthermore, we have the user guide, and if you have feedback on improvement or whatever, just reach out to Benjamin and me. And yeah, thank you for having you here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you in the next webinar. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.